Call it a gifting circle, a blessing loom, modern SuSu, gifting flower, money game, or just a pyramid. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably been approached by someone trying to recruit you into one of these deals. Maybe it was a cousin, a coworker, or someone on Facebook. A friend that just promised that this is a good way for you to save and invest money while helping people within the group. And when you get your cash out, you don't have to pay taxes on it. But is this true? Can you really make money from the so-called blessing loom or gifting circle or modern SuSu without paying taxes? That's the topic of today's video on the other side of the break. What's up, guys? Corey Hankerson here from Legacy Tax, and they call me the Levy King because I've helped thousands of clients with unfiled returns, back taxes, tax liens, and that's right, IRS levies. If the IRS took your check, the Levy King will get it back. 1-877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com. I'm also the author of End the Tax Nightmare, Insider Secrets to Beat the IRS and Reduce Your Tax Debt. Inside the book, I'll show you how to stop IRS levies, liens, and garnishments without paying the tax in full. How to set up the payment plan you want and not the one that they want. And potentially how to settle your tax debt for less than you actually owe. My book has been a top seller on Amazon for years. You can buy it right now for $19.99, but I want to give you a copy of the book absolutely free. Just go on over to my website, www.endthetaxnightmare.com, pop in your name, your email address, and I'll send you a copy right away. No charge, not even for shipping, totally free. Now, before we go any further with today's video, I want to take a moment to ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Okay, let's dive into today's content. Okay, guys, now the purpose of today's video is not to dive deep into whether you should join a so-called loom or a gifting circle, whether it's a Ponzi scheme. There are plenty of other YouTubers who have addressed those points of view. My goal here is to address the specific claim of whether you can get tax-free income out of this deal. But first, what is a gifting loom and how does it work? The gifting loom is marketed as a way for you to get some quick cash while also helping others within your community. Here's my understanding of how it works. A friend approaches you and tells you that if you put in $400, you'll cash out $3,200 in just a couple days. Sounds perfectly legit, right? What could possibly go wrong? So you jump on Venmo or maybe Cash App and you send $400 to a total stranger. Let's call that stranger Olivia. Now, you and everyone else on the outside of the wheel are brand new participants. They have each paid $400, that same entry fee, to the person in the middle, Olivia. Olivia is now cashed out $3,200 because everyone's buy-in was $400. So that's 8 people times 400. That's how you get your $3,200. Now that Olivia has cashed out of the loom splits into 2 different looms. You got Heather, who has one loom, and Matt has the other. Heather's loom consists of people on the top half, and Matt has everyone on the bottom half. Everyone in this group now has to find 8 more participants, 8 new people, and each of those people will pay Heather. The same goes for Matt's group. Now, once each of those 8 new people have paid Heather, Heather is cashed out. Now Dylan starts his loom with Hunter, Jason, and the 4 other participants in the outside half. John also starts his loom with Val, Haley, and the 4 new participants on their outside half. And so on it goes. Build a loom, cash out, start over, build another. That's the deal. But do you have to pay taxes each time you cash out? I have seen recruiting presentations claiming that you don't have to pay taxes on your $3,200 because it was a gift and not actually income. This is completely false. Any money you get out of the loom is definitely taxable. And if you file a tax return without claiming it, you could be guilty of filing a false tax return. And if you're found to have recruited other people into the loom, you may have engaged in conspiracy to commit tax fraud. Consider the real life example of these two Connecticut women who were convicted of conspiracy to commit tax fraud itself, as well as wire fraud, for running a loom, which they called a gifting table. Here's how it worked. The gifting table was a 4-level pyramid with 8 participants on the bottom row, 4 on the third row, 2 on the second row, and 1 on the top. Those on the top were called desserts. The second row of people were called entrees. The third row were soup and salad, and the bottom row were appetizers. To join, you had to pay $5,000 to the person in the dessert position. The $5,000 payment was fraudulently characterized as a gift according to the Department of Justice. You moved up through the levels by recruiting additional people to join the group. When 8 new people joined and made a $5,000 gift, the person at the top of the pyramid got a $40,000 cash out. Now, doesn't this sound similar to your Blessing Loom, just maybe on a larger scale, right? After the trial, after they were convicted, the U.S. attorney said, and I quote, "As the jury's swift verdict of guilty on all counts makes clear, gifting tables are pyramid schemes, illegal, plain and simple," stated U.S. Attorney Fine. That's the guy who prosecuted the case. These defendants enriched themselves while fraudulently misrepresenting material facts about the gifting tables and conspired to hide their income from the IRS. I commend the agents of the IRS Criminal Investigation Division for their thorough investigation of this matter, which is ongoing. One crucial factor in this case is whether the initial $5,000 that each person put up was a gift or was it actually an investment. Now, it is true that gifts under a certain dollar amount don't need to be reported, while investment income must be listed on your tax return. According to the IRS, a person makes a gift if they give something of value to another person without the expectation of getting anything of equal value in return. When you pay to join a loom, you are not making a gift because the entire point is to get back more than you initially put in. Since the money you cash out does not fit the definition of a gift, it'll normally be classified as an investment and it'll have to be claimed on your tax return and you'll have to pay taxes on it. Now, I can already hear some of you asking, if the loom is an illegal pyramid, why do I have to put it on my tax return? Well, that's because the general rule is that while you do not have to tell the government exactly how you earned illegal income, but you do have to report the illegal income itself on your tax return, according to IRS Publication 17. Publication 17 states on page 74 that income from illegal activities, such as money from dealing illegal drugs, must be included on your income tax return, either on line 8 of your 1040 or on Schedule 1 or on Schedule C in the case of self-employment activity. Link to IRS Publication 17 in the description below. On the other hand, if you join the loom but didn't make any money, there may be some relief available to you too. Under the tax code, an investor in a Ponzi scheme, which is what they're calling a loom, right, is entitled to deduct his or her losses as a theft loss instead of a capital loss from an investment, which means it's not going to be subject to the 10% of adjusted gross income reduction or the $100 reduction that applies to many personal casualty and theft loss deductions. Put simply, you're going to be able to deduct the money that you probably lost when you joined the gifting circle. So there's something there. The bottom line is whether you call it a gifting circle, a Blessing Loom, a flower, a money game, Modern SuSu, they've all been declared as a Ponzi scheme. So I wouldn't recommend getting involved. But if you do, please understand the tax implications. If you're one of the lucky ones who happen to make some money, you're going to have to claim that money on your Form 1040 at tax time. And if you don't, you could find yourself in trouble with the IRS. Speaking of trouble with the IRS, if you owe back taxes, I want you to know that there are special programs in place to help you get a fresh start. But how do you know if you qualify? No two cases are exactly alike, so how do you know how much you can settle for? Well, I've created a free tool to help you get qualified for a fresh start. Just head over to www.levyking.com or click the link below. Follow the prompts and answer a few simple questions, and we'll help you figure out your eligibility. That website again is www.levyking.com, or you can give us a call at 1-877-LEVY-KING. That's it for this week, guys. Talk to you later.
1-877-LEVY-KING, Levy, Levy King, 1-877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com.
Owe back taxes to the IRS? Call the Levy King. He's the best. 877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com.
1-877